We're live. All right. Well, I will go first if you guys don't mind.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So my 4 goals were mine were pretty basic. So like one was to read the scriptures every day. And the other one was go to the temple at least once a month.
Nice.
And then the other one was just to do a good deed every day. And then the other one was to try to go to the gym every day. And so it was like the little things, they were pretty easy to do. A lot of them I was already doing, but I made my wife hold me accountable to all of those. So she kind of partnered with me on most of them, which made it like a lot easier to do. So like we would read scriptures every night. She would ask me about my good deed after we got done praying or reading scriptures or praying. And then she'd go to the gym with me as well. And then obviously we'd go to the temple together. So like that was like my commitment device. So like without my wife, I don't think I would have done near as good as I probably would have on my own. But let me see if I can share screen
Thank
share.
goodness for wives.
For real.
So what were your consequences for not? Oh, look at me. What were your consequences for not reaching your goals?
So one was if I failed to read a chapter of scripture, then I would read 3 chapters the next day.
That was your punishment, was more reading?
More reading. Then if I missed that day, then it was 3 times 3, so 9 chapters.
Holy cow.
So pretty severe consequence. And then if I missed a day at the gym, I would do at least 10 steps on my phone. Like I just kept track on my phone. And so like there would be some days where I'd miss the gym and I'd have to just go run and jog like that night. But that one was a little bit harder to follow up on. Harder. That was like my elite. That was like I was worse at the gym versus everything else. And then the other one was the temple. I was a primary teacher at the time, so if I didn't go to the temple, I'd have to make treats for my class, and like I shared that with them. So they were like, "Don't go to the temple." Treats. And they got treats every week anyway. I mean, if you guys have never been primary teachers, it's the best calling ever.
I have done that.
Right. And then did you guys ever have like accountability partners you had to check in with?
Loosely, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that was one, and I try to make it a goal just to keep track of everything and check in with them. But yeah, so those were my goals and my consequences. Let me see if I can share maybe just the application, just because whenever I share the screen, it does something crazy. Let's try this again. Can you guys see this right here?
Yeah.
So here's my list of just keeping track of everything. And I just did it on a Google Drive, so.
Nice.
Yeah. And kind of my biggest takeaway, I guess, for all this was like a lot of these things were things that I were doing, and they were just little things. But at the very end of this whole semester, I look back at that big block of work, and it's like a ton, actually, you know? And so it's kind of that principle where, like, by small things, great things are accomplished. So that was kind of my biggest takeaway from it all.
Right on.
Well done, Matthew. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Wesley.
I was gonna say I could tell you were working out, bro.
Yeah. It's traps, isn't it? A lot of shrugs.
Get them 50-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go. Got it. Me. All right. So similar to Matt, when I kind of set out to do this project, I talked to my wife about it, and she was like, "Why don't you try to incorporate things you already want to be doing?" I was like, "You're a genius," so I'm going to do that. So daily scripture study was one of mine as well. I wanted to be more consistent about personal prayers, not just praying with my wife or whatever. Like I wanted to have kind of more intentional personal prayers. I added all my homework assignments in there too, so I wanted to get better about procrastinating. And then I added on checking on my partner's work too. So I checked theirs every day. It was CP, so I like bookmarked her page, and I would check it every single night. I had a goal for work too. I wanted to make sure I was going out of my way to give the teams that I work with the support they needed on a daily basis. And then I wanted to make sure that I was working out consistently as well, at least twice a week. That was the minimum. So fortunately, I didn't have any no's all the way through, which I was proud of. Got close. A couple times I get to the end of the day, like forgot about my scriptures and be like, I'd be like falling asleep, and then I would remember and wake up, pull up my phone, read a bit. Yeah, I was proud to not miss anything. I mean, there was one week where I didn't work out as much as I wanted to, but I was traveling for business, and it was, I don't know, it felt like something that was worth excusing. It was okay. I didn't really have to follow through with any of the consequences because I didn't miss, which I was glad about, because my consequences that I set up for myself, I was gonna like basically, if I had like an unexcused no on anything, I was gonna do all the laundry in the house, wash, dry, and put away, which sucks. Hate laundry. And then if I missed again, I was gonna do all that plus give the dog a bath and then clean like the whole bathroom after. And then if I missed again, I was gonna do all that stuff plus vacuum all the carpeted areas in our place and then mop the floors. And I just did not want to do any of that stuff. So I had no no's. Yeah, I mean, I think what I wanted to accomplish in this is I wanted to, I don't know, build daily habits that would build me up spiritually. And I wanted them to be little things that I didn't feel like were big, that took a ton of time out of the day, but I still had to be intentional about them. That was good. And then I also, like I said, I've really been focused on making myself fitter and healthier the last year. So that's why working out was important to me too. And, you know, similar to what Matt said, I think biggest takeaway is like, yeah, a lot of these things were little, but over time, they really added up to something bigger and larger. Like now I've got a much better habit of reading my scriptures regularly, praying more regularly, being at the gym more regularly, and doing the things I need to do to make sure I'm on top of all my projects at work. So, I don't know, the project didn't like push me to spread myself too thin, but I still felt like I had to work hard enough to stay on top of everything. It was like just the right amount of effort.
Nice.
Right.
So your dog hasn't been washed in 3 months, is what you're saying.
That's the takeaway I got from that.
Good job, Landon. You're very committed.
Well, thank you for not helping around the house.
No help around the house.
Gosh darn it, if you didn't complete your goals.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm like, we're praying that I'm not washing the dog. She's like, all right, cool.
I'll pray the filth off the dog. All right. I'll go ahead and I'll just do mine. We can wrap this thing up. So my objectives, I guess, was to become a healthier version of me. So back in August, my work started this contract with a nutritionalist, and so he'd come and like he would do a body composition thing for you and like give you tips and all like exercise, you know, recommendations and stuff like that. And so I went in August and I was just like, man, I just want to be below like 20, like I just want to be below like 25, 30% body fat, right? In my mind, I was just like 50% fat, 50% water. And I just like, I'm like a gelatinous ball just bouncing down the street. And so I was like, just want to be lower than 30, right? And so I do the test. He's like, you're 20, which is about average for, you know, males in their early or late early to late 20s. I'm like, okay, great. I have no problem being average. I've been average my whole life. And so, I wanted to make my objectives kind of like a healthier version of me. I don't know if you guys have ever had that moment, right, where you're looking back at pictures of your parents, and you go, "Wow, Dad, like you used to be so fit," or like, "Whoa, Dad, like I can't believe you used to play sports." Like, I don't know, right? If you ever had that moment with your parents. And so now that I have two daughters of my own, right, and my little 4-year-old is getting to that point where she can, have little smart answers and stuff like that. I can already see it coming, right, where she's gonna see a picture of me and be like, "Oh, Dad, did you eat that little boy, or what happened to him?" Or and so my objectives, right, were to lower my fat percentage by total body mass to be less than 20%, and then shrink whether my pant size or stomach size, right, for both a health and confidence reasons.
Sure.
And so my goals were I was only going to drink water,
Nice.
no soda or juices, work out at least 30 minutes on just the weekdays, and then an hour on Saturdays, and then eat a vegetable with every meal for lunch and dinner. And then one of the tips that the nutritionist gave said that, right, if you don't want to lose muscle while you're trying to lose fat while you're working out, is to eat a gram of protein for every pound of muscle or non-fat pound that you have. So like if you do the calculations for me, right, it would be 160 grams of protein a day, which is like out of control amount of protein.
Mm-hmm.
So I did fairly well. The protein was the hardest one, just trying to consume that much. So I did like a protein shake in the morning, and then I'd have like a major meat with lunch, and then I'd have a protein bar in the afternoon, and then another big protein thing for dinner.
Doing it.
And so all said and done, right? I didn't quite reach the goals I was hoping for. I was able to maintain above 90% accuracy for my goals. But I think where I messed up was that when I set my goals, I was thinking that if I just did a lot of good things in general, that like they would all kind of come together and go the way I want them to. So like I did a lot of cardio, a lot of weightlifting, but I didn't necessarily do a lot of core and abs and things that might specifically target what I was looking for. And so looking forward, I'd say I'd make more specific goals rather than just general good principles, maybe directly attack the thing I want to. What was I going to add? Oh, so as far as my consequences, right? So like between the three goals, right, I had a 94, 90, and a 92% accuracy. And I would say that the other thing I'd change moving forward is my consequences. So my consequences are that I love football, right? I love everything about football. I love talking about football. I love watching football. I love playing football. And so my consequences were if I missed one of the three goals at any point during the week, right? So each one I get grade. Each day I grade myself on L3, and then if I missed one throughout the week, it was I couldn't watch BYU football.
Ooh.
And then, I could only watch BYU football. And then if I missed two, right, I couldn't watch any football. And so I found that the consequences lost some luster as time went on, right? Because BYU ended up not being very good. And then like my other team, the Denver Broncos, also ended up not being very good. And so it was kind of like they're not going to be very good. I'm going to go, I'm not going to work out. I'm going to go to sleep instead or something. And so that's the other thing I would change, right? It would be my goals would be more not necessarily within my control, but something that wouldn't change based off others' results. If that makes any sense, right? Kind of like how you don't set your own goals based off of someone else, right? You have to be in control of your own goals. Don't set consequences that I can't really control.
Nailed it.
Boom. Done. Dynamite.
Good word.
Boom goes the dynamite.
So did you measure your body mass at the end of the?
Yeah, it didn't change. So I'm still average, which is fine. But yeah, I wanted to like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like pre-Terminator, just cut, chiseled.
My buddies started a small business. They have like a machine that it's like a big printer. Like you lay on it and it scans you. I never heard of body composition before that. It was like a year and a half ago. Dude, my body fat was like 29.9, and I was like, that is absolutely so disgusting and unacceptable. I was so appalled at myself. I was like, enough. This is done.
Yeah, it's a little bit of
honestly, like I know I'm not below 20 yet, but that's been my goal. Dude, if you're not losing weight, it's just good calories. If you're eating good protein,
yeah,
you're consuming too many calories. That's literally
right. It's simple math, right? Intake versus output.
that's it. So you're doing the right things. You just got to figure out how to like minimize. I don't know, like maybe your protein bar is too high calorie or something.
Right, and that was the other thing too, right? Is that even though I'm eating good proteins, maybe I'm just eating too much other good stuff, right? So no, that was the other correction going forward, right? Would be trying to find a healthy balance.
Hard, it's really hard.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been real.
Hey, see you on the flip side.
Hey, I just sent you both 2 LinkedIn invites, so
Yeah.
stay in touch.
Yeah, go ahead and go ahead and decline that.
Oh, classic. All right. All right. Enjoy, you guys. We'll see you later.
That I talk too much, so
Yeah, putting that in your peer evaluation for sure.
Yes.
Wes needs to learn his place. Stay in his lane.
Cool, Matt. If you want to just send me the link, I'll shoot an email to our professor and CC you guys on it.
Perfect.
Sounds good.